Right, ladies and gents, let's take a deep dive into the next question. Good day. If you've just joined us, please welcome to our YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button as soon as you can, and let's get into the question. They say if sine of alpha, 13 sine of alpha plus 5 is equal to 0, and alpha is between 90, right, greater than 90 and less than 270, determine the value of the following with the aid of a sketch. Right, so we're going to need to draw a sketch there. So firstly, they told us that we've got 13, the sine of alpha, plus 5, which is equal to 0. Now firstly, let's isolate let's make the trig ratio the subject of the formula. So this is 13 sine of alpha, which is equal to negative 5, and divide both sides by 13. So sine of alpha is negative 5 over 13. But what do we know sine to be? We know sine is y over r, right? So that means we need to now determine the value of x. But before we do that, we need to find out in which quadrant is this, right? So firstly, we know that this is going to be so firstly, we've got our cast diagram, okay? So in our cast diagram, where is sine negative, right? So remember, this tells us all of them are positive here. Sine and its inverse, right, are positive. Tan and its inverse are positive, and cosine and its inverse are positive in the fourth quadrant, right? Now, where is sine negative? So we know sine is positive in the first and in the second quadrant. So which means in this case I use a tick, right? Where is sine negative? It's in the third as well as in the fourth quadrant. But now I don't know which quadrant is it going to be. I need to go and check for the additional information. Right. Now, I usually use what I call the two tick method. So in this case, they said this angle alpha must be between 90 degrees. Here's 90 and 270. So over there. So alpha must be between those two quadrants. So where do I have two ticks? Absolutely in the third quadrant. So in that case, that's where my triangle is going to be. Okay. All right. So firstly, what do I know? My y value is 5, negative 5. My r value is 13. So let's find out what the x value is. So x squared would be equal to r squared minus y squared. Okay, that's the Pythagorean theorem. So that's going to be 13 squared minus that negative 5 squared. Okay, so that's going to be 13 squared, which is 169, minus 25, and that will give us 144. Okay, and if we take the square root, x would be the square root of 144. But remember, this would be plus or minus, right? And this would be plus minus 12. But we now need to go and check where exactly is our diagram. It's in the third quadrant, meaning that x also needs to be negative. So the answer that we accept in this case would be negative 12. Right, I hope that you got that, ladies and gents. Right, now let's go to now determine what would be the value. Okay, so for 2.2.1, they said determine the value of cot of alpha. All right, and I want you to note cot of alpha. Okay, I just want to change that color there. Right, cot alpha. Remember this is the same as the inverse of sine. So the inverse of tan rather. So this is 1 over the tan of alpha. Now remember, what is tan? Tan is y over x, okay? So meaning that cot would be the inverse. That would simply be x over y, okay? So my x value, that's negative 12, and my y value is negative 5. So negative divided by negative would be a positive, so my answer would be 12 over 5. All right, and that's how the cookie crumbles. So let's go for 2.2.2. They say cosine of alpha plus the tan of alpha. Right, so cos alpha plus, cos alpha plus the tan of alpha. Right, so cos is x over r plus tan is y over x. All right, so our x value from our triangle, we said that's negative 12, right? R is 13, so that would be minus 12 over 13 plus our y value, right? We said for 10, y is negative 5 and x is 12, okay? Negative 12. So that would be negative 12 over negative 5. So I want you to note that, ladies and gents, that is now negative divided by negative gives us a positive. So we've got minus 12 over 13 plus 12 over 5. Okay, so we can add those fractions up. Okay, to add the fractions, okay, I'm a bit out of space. I'm just going to write it over there. Okay, so what's my LCD? That's 13 multiplied by 5. That's 13 times 5 times 5. Okay, and my numerator, 5 times minus 12. 5 times negative 12, okay, plus 13 times 12. So I cross multiplied those two and I took the LCD, which is the product over two of the two. So you could have just worked it out also on the calculator. Just simply say, just want to show you that we would get the same value. So that's negative 12 over 13 plus 12 over 5. Okay, we get that value there, which is 96 over 65. Right, I wanted you to note that we're going to get exactly the same value. Okay, if I say negative 5 times 12 plus 13 times 12, and we divide that by 13 multiplied by 5, okay, you see that we get exactly the same value, which is 96 over 65. And ladies and gents, I want us to leave that question there. We're going to be looking at question 2.3 in our next one. All right, but for now, I hope that you guys got that. For now, I'll see you guys next time. Sharp, sharp.